This video is for informational purposes only. The following segments contain views and opinions expressed by the 2016 Republican candidates for Nolan County Sheriff. These views and opinions belong solely to the individuals who made them and are not representative of the Pioneer City County Museum. We do not endorse or support any single candidate, but we'd like you to remember to please vote on Tuesday, March 1st, 2016.
Well, hi, I'm Incumbent Sheriff David Warren, Nolan County Sheriff, and I'm here today to talk to you about my desire and to humbly ask you for your vote in the March 1st Republican primary election coming up this coming Tuesday, March 1st. And I would like to continue serving you in the capacity of sheriff for a third term here in Nolan County. I have over 35 years experience as a Texas peace officer, including over 19 years experience in the county jail. I've attained the highest level of certification in two different areas through the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement. That as a Master Peace Officer certification and a Master Jailer certification. I feel it's very important for a candidate for sheriff to have jail experience, as the jail operation is one of the most complicated and requires some of the most dedicated attention to law changes and so forth. So it's very important for a sheriff's candidate to have jail experience. I've enjoyed my time here in Nolan County. My wife, Kara, and I moved here shortly after we got married over 30 years ago, and we've made Nolan County our home since that time. We've raised two daughters here, and we have no intention of leaving Nolan County. I've been very proud to serve in the sheriff's office, and it's been the most rewarding experience of my law enforcement career, which spans over 35 years. We've done some meaningful things in the sheriff's office, I feel, since we've been in office. One is we've tried to be diligent about the drug problem that we have and most communities have. We have been very successful in that area and have completed many multi-agency joint investigations with state and federal agencies and have been able to put a lot of people in state and federal prison and take a lot of drugs off the streets of Nolan County to make Nolan County a safer place to live. We're very proud of the fact that we still maintain the DARE program in Roscoe, Blackwell, and Highland schools. A lot of agencies have drifted away from drug education like that, but we feel it's a very important aspect of what we do, and we feel like Nolan County youth are worth that effort, and we are very proud to still offer that program to the three rural county schools. Other things that we've been able to accomplish is through grant funding and drug forfeiture funding, we've been able to bring in nearly $1 million to help equip our deputies, as well as all of the volunteer fire departments in Nolan County with new communications equipment and other things that make their job safer, and do so without imposing a lot of additional burden on the taxpayer. We've tried to keep our budget in check, and for the last 7 years that I've been your elected sheriff, I've come in under budget for each of those 7 years. I feel that the tax money that we're given to be stewards of is very serious, and I take that job very seriously to watch over it and make sure it's spent appropriately. We just completed construction of a brand new jail facility and sheriff's office out on Avenger Field Road, and we're very proud of that building that the citizens of Nolan County provided for us. We look forward to continuing to get settled into that and making it a viable building for many years to come. I have a very dedicated and experienced staff of 34 men and women that go out and put their lives on the line each day for you, and I'm very proud to have the staff that I have. We have a supervisory staff with a very vast amount of experience that are ready and willing to serve you, and we would like to continue serving the citizens of this county for another term. So therefore, I humbly ask you to consider the type of sheriff's office that you have now, the type of experience and qualifications that you expect to see in a sheriff, and I humbly again ask you for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st for the Republican primary. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Ray Cornutt, Republican candidate for Nolan County Sheriff. I was born and raised in Sweetwater, went to school in Sweetwater, graduated in 1994 from Sweetwater High School. I'm married to my wife, Dawn. We have 5 kids. She works for the Sweetwater Independent School District. My kids attend the Sweetwater Independent School District. We currently attend Trinity Baptist Church here in Sweetwater, where our kids are members of the youth group and attend youth functions. In 1997, I attended the West Central Texas Council of Governments Law Enforcement Academy, where I obtained my basic peace officer license. In February of 1998, I was hired by Sheriff Donnie Ranafeld with the Sheriff's Office, where I worked as a jailer and a patrol deputy. In October of 1998, I accepted a position with Chief Jim Kelly with the Sweetwater Police Department. During my time with the police department, I have served as a patrol officer, a detective, and a patrol sergeant. I obtained several hours of training and continuing education during my time, where I've obtained my Master Peace Officer certification, my T-Close instructor's license, firearms instructors, patrol rifle instructor, and several other certifications. As your newly elected sheriff, if elected, I want to implement a 24-hour patrol policy. I want deputies out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to where they can respond immediately to an emergency that's called in by a citizen. I believe it is important to have deputies out, even though there's a small amount of calls that come out in the early morning hours. I believe it is important to have the deputies out for the safety of the citizens. I believe they deserve that service so that they can respond immediately, and we don't have to wait for them to respond from their residence during the middle of the night. I believe it is important to build the relationship that the Sheriff's Office has with local agencies. Working with the Sweetwater Police Department, the Roscoe Police Department, DPS, I believe we can grow the information sharing between the departments, which will better serve the citizens all over the county in solving crimes that occur in and out of the city limits of Sweetwater, Roscoe, and the county. I believe that we need to continue to work with CPS and the CAC to build build better cases for child abuse investigations to help lessen the number of cases that we have with child abuse. I will continue the fight against drugs that has been carried on for many years. I believe it's important to protect our communities and our schools from drugs and the effects of drugs. I believe it will be important for us to continue to work and build our relationship with our prosecutor's office to keep them involved with our investigations from the ground up, so that they are better prepared when they get to the court level, so that cases do not get dismissed on technicalities. Again, I'm Ray Cornutt, Republican candidate for Nolan County Sheriff, and I would appreciate your vote on March 1st.
Hi, I'm Kevin Turner, and I'm working to be your next sheriff of Nolan County. I'm a lifelong resident of Sweetwater. My wife Carrie and I have been married for 21 years. We have 3 beautiful daughters, and something I think is important to know about me is that I am a man of God. My personal relationship with Jesus Christ is where my morals and ethics are rooted. I began my law enforcement career in 1992 with over 21 years in law enforcement. During that time, I worked investigations from homicide, burglaries, thefts, armed robberies, child abuse, drug interdiction, just to name a few. Some of the things I'd like to talk to you about today are keeping our children and our senior citizens safer, 24-hour protection for our rural citizens, the micromanagement of our current sheriff's department, and ending local corruption. It's sad, but we turn our TVs on a regular basis and we see the mass shootings playing out across our country, and our hearts break for the victim. And God forbid that anything like that ever happen here in our county. But we are not immune from it, and we must begin preparing our educators, students, law enforcement responders, as well as the general public on how to respond to a situation like that if it ever does occur. We need to start teaching the run, hide, fight concept to everyone. The old reactive style of law enforcement of, well, we'll respond and take care of it if something happens, it just won't work anymore. We have to become proactive in protecting our most precious assets. It is sad that our senior citizens are preferred targets for a lot of our criminals. They're targeted in their homes by their family members and non-family members. They steal their money, their prescriptions, their property, their identity. They abuse them. And a lot of these cases, the vast majority of them go unsolved, unreported, because they're scared. They're afraid of further retaliation if they say anything. A lot of these cases could be solved and stopped if we as neighbors would just pay more attention to what goes on around our senior citizens, and we say something. We've got to get past being a society that doesn't want to get involved, and we've got to start taking care of our senior citizens. And I have a community outreach program that I'm going to lay out that we can accomplish this with. I've spoken with many of our rural citizens, and they were not happy to find out that they don't have 24-hour protection in Nolan County, and I'm sure you're not either. But our local sheriff uses crime stats to determine the justification for protecting our people during the night. The problem with crime in the rural community is the vast majority of it goes unreported, if not delayed for months. But I ask you, what about the elderly couple who's being terrorized at night that doesn't get reported? Or what about the sexual predator trying to get into the child's bedroom window? There's got to be more justification for protecting our citizens 24 hours a day than someone trying to steal your lawnmower. One of the problems that we have in our sheriff's department currently is extreme high turnover rate with the employees. And this is due to excessive oversight. One of the things that I believe that can single-handedly kill the morale in a department is micromanaging. You hire the right people, properly train them, and you let them do their job. People who are pressured, those type of employees, they don't bring creativity and passion to their workplace. They foster feelings of resentment and anger towards their employers. See, people follow leaders because they want to, not because they have to. And I will build a department that has self-discipline and respect where people want to come to work. And I will be the type of leader that people want to follow. I have proven in my law enforcement career that I truly believe no one is above the law. Even as a young officer, when ordered to do something illegal and unethical by my superior, I refused to do so. I knew there would be retaliation, and there was. But I was not someone who would compromise my integrity then, and I will never be a sheriff who looks the other way. Our current sheriff can't say that. As a chief deputy, when he had the same opportunity to stand up and guard his integrity, he failed to do so. And as our sheriff, recently building a new jail, he was caught by the commissioner's court falsifying the over expenditures that he presented. I truly believe that I am the best candidate for sheriff of Nolan County. I have the business and the leadership experience that my opponents do not have. I ask you to join me. Vote for me on March 1st as your new sheriff, and together we will make Nolan County a safer place to live. Thank you.